mic. Can you hear me now? It looks like I'm talking. The little thing is going up and down. Sound control to Major Tom. Hi, everyone. All I have is all of her pictures. Right. Dang technology. Yep, Lisa, thank you. Now I can hear, I read everything that you're saying, but you can't hear me. Lord above. Okay, I'll turn on another mic. Can you hear me now? Might be going sonic boom. I'm going to have some more lessons from my son, I think. What have I done wrong? Okay, we're going to try something. Okay, I should be able to be talking at the moment. If you can hear me, I'm so grateful to your patience. Let me see what you're saying. No sound. I can hear you. Yes, sound. Yep, you can hear me. Hi, Stefan, Beta. Yay. Yvonne is here. Oh, dear goodness. I must have done something wrong, but my mic's on. For some reason, I think I know what that problem is, but I had gotten around it. Okay. You've heard my story of the intensity of this move. The other thing that was really, really trying is not having Wi-Fi that you could trust. And it started in the other house. Matthew and I got around it with some long cables. He had a purple one and I had a white one that went from the kitchen all the way to where he was streaming, where I was streaming. But when we got to the new house, it was dire. I couldn't even watch Netflix without it freezing for half an hour in between. It was just Matthew finally showed me how I have to each time go in, put in the passwords, and just be patient. It was insane. But now we've got a really good system, and Matthew's in London with his, and his streams seem to be going quite well. And I only had to restart twice. Well, people, if you have any questions for me, I'll check the chat and see what you would like me to answer. Thank you, Becky. They're very happy here, I have to say. Thank you, Carol. I didn't push any buttons then. Oh dear. Becky, you're so funny. I will not push any buttons. Matthew was getting a bit sort of short of temper because I think he surrendered and did it through his phone. It was crazy time. I think he's quite happy about being in London. So let me put the indoor images up, because some of you might not have seen that. Transition. So that's looking through my hallway into what is the office. And that's coming down the spiral staircase looking at my living room. We have 2 sofas that you told people can lie on. That's one of them. I decided to put up Sea of Souls in the office because it's pretty big, and that was the only wall we could find to put it on. And then the wave, love that, just love it. When the time comes that someone buys them, I will have to put up some of the ones that aren't up. These are some of my treasures. I told you I decided to keep my Lilith treasures. There we are back at the hole with Angel of Might. My books. Okay. I want to go back outside. These lovely women. There's the house. Apparently it was a stable house. It's a coach house with a walled garden. It's like a secret garden. There's quiet, and there's a fantastic eucalyptus tree. I call these guys the gathering of angels. The one on the left is Unity. There's Song of Woman and the willow. It is very relaxing. Lovers. My water butt, the art of saving water. I'd love to have someone to come into business with me because I have several water butts that are beautiful. This is mother and child. That's my door angel. My front door. There's Ariel rejoicing. She's very happy here. Actually, the house is very happy here. There are a lot more, but I wasn't sure if I'd fry the thing out. And I might have done, because maybe the images are too high. We'll see how long this lasts. Don't know. I will consult my son when I can reach him. It's an interesting one being here, because part of me felt like I didn't know who I was. A whole new persona is being built. Really interesting. And it's like I just want to sit and be quiet, doing a lot of reading and just asking for the new to come. I mean, this is pretty new, but I'm talking about the inner new of where I'm supposed to, create. How am I supposed to serve humanity with my art? And it's like I'm an empty slate. I've had several moments in my life where that happened, and I learned to know that this is the process of evolving consciously. And this one's a whole new flavor, I have to say. I mean, it feels like home. The kids absolutely adore it. they feel it's home, more so than the previous houses I've rented. Everyone thinks it's Ginger. So, welcome to Gingerland. I'm going to look at your comments now that I think it's all going ahead. Yep, a walled garden. It's really incredible. I've always wanted a walled garden. And what's incredible, it's just between two housing estates, nice housing estates, I should say. But it's so quiet. There's apparently, and I haven't been out because I've been unpacking all the boxes, apparently there's a field, like a park, a small park. People, I can hear dogs barking and kids laughing. But that's about it. And I got living in near Little Hampton, which is near the sea. Get a lot of seagulls. I like seagulls. Some people complain about them. The most precious thing is the eucalyptus tree. Verpy, I lived in Tapner's barn for 2 years during the COVID experience and my surgery I had just before COVID, which in a way COVID helped me to heal. I didn't do much for 6 to 8 months getting over that operation and then COVID. So I think it served my well-being. But it became very obvious, financially actually, that I had to downsize, and also spiritually, consciously, I chose to downsize, release a lot. And my charities are very happy with me. They are looking forward to more deliveries. Stained glass Carol is one of my loves. I have to say, I've got loads of them around. They're not all on. But it is some of my treasures that makes me actually feel back in America. I have to say that when I was in New York City the last time, a long time ago, I went to the Metropolitan Museum, the really big one, and they have a section of Tiffany that I just never knew that he did. It was just amazing. He did tiles. They have this one whole wall it was a fountain, and just really special. So if you're ever there, go there. Yes, Isabel. You know, I felt really good. I'm getting even better about letting go. This one, actually, I'm more inspired. It's like, right? All the little things that I've collected over the years, I don't need them anymore. I have this inner beauty and this wish to create, and being more simple and not being such a consumer is inspiring. It's really good. So I have had, some days it's like round 2 for going through everything again. My books are a real challenge to let go of some of them. There's some really rare ones. And then there were all the DVDs. You wouldn't believe, maybe you would believe, the number of DVDs we had since DVDs started happening. And all the kids were at home, and gosh, did we collect them. And it was like, oh my God, what do I do with them all? Do I put them, 1,000 or more? And it was like, that was one of the most concerning things. It's like, do you throw them all into the skip? Do we throw them away? It's like, what do I do? Well, I called up my cancer research lady, the manageress, and said, Sue, I've got all these DVDs and loads of classical music and CDs and stuff. Do you have any suggestions? And she said, you've been so amazing. Just bring them in. I know someone that we can pass them on to. Whew. I think that was one of the biggest gifts, apart from finding this place, that God gave to me during this whole thing. That was, whoa, really incredible moment. I still have things to go through, but I will. Let's see what you're saying. Yeah, Juliet remembers her DVD collection. Becky, I love watching people blow glass. When I was in Hawaii, on Kauai, no, it was actually on Maui, there was an amazing place that did a lot of glass blowing. It was amazing to just sit there on Hawaii with the breeze and the colors and the sounds and the smells and these amazing objects were yeah, I know, Becky. Alice said that I could do that, my daughter. But it was like I had so much to do. The thought of sitting, we went on the market, sold several things there. Thank God Alice organized that bit for me, because it was like brain hemorrhage. Don't know if I can do all these things at the same time. But yeah. Wait 1 second. I have to show you something. Don't leave me. This is what I got from that Hawaiian glass blowing. Where's the camera? I'm back. The camera isn't realized I'm back. Here it is. Look at that. Can you see it? See? It's a fish. It's a blowfish. Or maybe it's a puffish fish. It's just so incredible. And one other thing was this little being. I love hearts. We're on a little bit of a time delay here. She sits very happily on my desk. Love her. I've often wondered if I could blow glass. Welding is another thing, really. Verby, Matthew only lived here for 2 weeks in the same house. And now he's in London in his flat. His whole mission is to come back and sell his flat. But because of capital gains tax, he has to live there for 6 months. That's the plan. But because of COVID, his tenants had to be given 6 months allowance to stay in. So that's why he came back. Also because COVID, he felt a bit vulnerable over there. And so I said, come live with me. And that's what he did. Does that answer your question? You did. And he seems a happy budgie. I mean, it must be, even though we love each other so much and we have a lot of creative feelings, he's much younger than he's half my age, and I'm in a different cycle to him, and we did a lot of smiling, a lot of cooking, and really was lovely. But I think he was wanting to get out into his own world because of COVID as well. He couldn't go out. He didn't have his injections, so we also had that tension that we were all living with. And by the time I got to this age, I've done everything. I don't need to go out. I just need to create. So I'm really happy for him. He's running and he's playing chess in the park, from what I understand. And hopefully he's working on that new album. Becky was saying there used to be an old guy who lived not far from me that was a welder, and he filled his front garden with sculptures in metal, but around 12 to 15 feet. Woo, that's tall. When I was studying with Cecil Collins, I was doing all these little drawings, life drawings. And after a while, well, first he said to me, Ginger, I don't want you to do any other drawing or creating or artwork for 2 years and just come to me. And I agreed. Even though we were in rock and roll and everything, I did that. And after 2 years, he said, okay, I think you have to acknowledge the fact that you should be creating some things big instead of little miniatures. I still haven't fulfilled it completely. It's like 30 foot is what some of my visions are. We'll see what this new cycle brings me. Yeah, well, I look forward to the new album, Verb Me Too. Oh my God, Richard, you're going on a blues weekend in a caravan. Where are you going to? A special festival somewhere? Where? If you're in Portsmouth. Yep, I really want to learn a lot more. I'd really like to carve into marble. I really want to go to Carrara, but I don't know. COVID has gotten me so into the inner world that I don't have a feeling to go out. But that might be my age, my young thinking. A blues weekend, where is that? It's on Facebook. It's called Old Bush Blues. It's in Worcester. How long does it take you to drive to Worcester? I wonder if Matthew knows about it. Julie, my favorite medium, I have to say, is oil paints. But before I discovered and got into them, pencil. So because I haven't quite figured out how and what how I create, I am contemplating drawing. I do love it. Yeah, that's also with England. It's gets a bit wet, so I don't have a room right now. I am considering getting one of those mobile rooms, but we'll see. We'll see. There is enough room to be able to put one up, but I'm really glad the garden's such that it really lends to the sculptures and it doesn't feel claustrophobic. And you should see people that I'm new people coming here to deliver something or to fix something, and they walk underneath the willow and suddenly they see all these sculptures and their mouth drops in awe. It's like, and what's really peculiar is it's like I made all of those with the help of the invisible divine God that guides us and the angels and all that, but it came through me. It's like just something. And because the wonderful thing about this place is those doors all open straight out to the garden. Matthew and I would sit at the kitchen table with the doors open and just watch the trees. It's so wonderful to be able to do that, because the other house, we were in a way just locked in, because to get to the garden you'd have to walk through all different rooms, and it wasn't really, it was a man's hedge and a bit of lawn, where this just feels like it's nature and we're living with it. And eucalyptus is very healing, very healing. How are you, Drew? Actually, I haven't heard from you for a while, or you haven't heard from me. Yeah, I hope you're creating again now. Verpi was saying she was doing some watercoloring when she was younger. Enjoyed that a lot. I did a Steiner watercolor course where you wet the paper and put some color on it and let it travel around. Let it dry. Then you do the next layer. And when I was doing that course, I was in Florida with young Brianna. I think she was 2. No, she was in kindergarten, so she was 3. And we always did a lot of painting together. So I had the paper there, and I said, can you imagine a 3-year-old told that they can wet the whole paper? And then I said, we want to allow God to tell us what needs to be born. And she's looking up at me, and I said, so what you do is you take your brush and you just dab a bit of color, boing, and you see you can watch it grow. And then another one, we can do a line if you want. She wasn't doing the classical little sun drawings and the little stick figures and stuff in this case. And then, to make it really exciting, I said we take the brush, put it in some color, and then you go flip, 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 and you watch all these colors grow and expand. Well, she just absolutely adored it, and we had to do several drawings. She goes to school, and she starts doing this flipping on the watercolors. The teacher said, Brianna, what are you doing that for? And she says, I'm waiting to see what God wants me to paint. And the teacher goes, who told you that? He says, my Nana. She says that she waits for God to tell her what to create. That's a moment, isn't it? A kid's moment. But I have to tell you one. Probably being a bit cheeky. When she first came back to England, David would have her over for the weekend. And she'd stand on a stool. Dave's really good at making scrambled eggs. So I had been telling her early on in Florida and everything that when you stir, you always stir clockwise. That creates love and harmony. If you go the other way, you're going against the rhythm of harmony. So we always stir clockwise. So there she is standing on the stool with David, cooking the eggs. And she goes, "Granddad, you shouldn't be stirring it that way." He goes, "Why?" He says, "You have to stir it the other way so that you create love in your food." And he's looking down at her. And where did you hear that, Nana? And of course, I just can imagine. Oh well, there's a silly story for you. Anyway, Richard saying, "Thank you. I'm a little worried with the reference to COVID, but I've had both jabs plus a flu jab, so I've decided to start to enjoy life again rather than hiding at home feeling scared." We can start going out, but be sensible. I wear masks wherever I go. I don't overdo the going out, but I am doing things that with sensibility. And in a way, we have to develop crowd herding. Oh no, it's help. So that we build up an immunity to it. So, and the other thing I find is fear attracts things that aren't too pleasant. So we have to find the balance of our fear and sensibility. So I'm glad, Julie, you and the silly story. I'm sure that we all with children have silly stories. And even as we grew up, herd immunity, that's it. Thank you, Drew. Yeah, it's a funny time. Yeah. Yeah. The thing is that we're fully vaccinated and apparently we still can pass it on, they say, but you don't get as ill from it. It might be just like a really bad bronchitis or something. I feel very healthy at the moment, so may it continue. Do you guys have any questions for me? Now that I can see all your messages. Yeah, Nikki, how are you now? Was it easy to get over your COVID? Yeah, Juliet, I think that's a really great idea. I have girlfriend artist that lives in Little Hampton, so that she's like 5 minutes away, and the other day she just suddenly showed up for a cup of coffee, and that's a new experience. But of course the last 2 years have created a different experience of being at home, and actually it helped talking to you. Otherwise I wouldn't be streaming. Well, I might have, but I was really quite shy about starting all of this, but now I really enjoy it, and it is a way of sharing ideas and heart. So are you okay now, Nikki? Hi, Garnet. Nice that you could join. I probably wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for the breakdown of the computer earlier on. So welcome. Well, that's an interesting mixture, Nikki. There's so many variations with it. Well, that's a positive thing to know. I thought the boosters were supposed to be like a year later, like what a lot of people get flu vaccinations every winter. Generally speaking, in my life, I've never done that because I was totally homeopathy and naturopath and a vegetarian. I was quite dedicated and committed. So my children pleaded with me, please, Mom, please get your vaccinations. So I decided that I would do that in order to, that they wouldn't worry. They'd feel safer with me. I mean, they were like police to make sure you're not going out. You're not letting anyone in. No, really. I shouldn't make a joke of it, but we had to, because we have to laugh. Those endorphins help counteract the fear and the stress that we all have. Yeah, I can see that people that are immune compromised would have to do that. I'm focusing on building my immune system, keeping track on that. We've got vitamin D, vitamin C, mitochondria, is that it? That helps with build your energy. So I'm feeling really strong. But if you're immune compromised, then I would say build your immune system as much as taking the vaccines. Yeah, it's a new time about things. Yeah. Well, we never know, Cindy, if he's going to get sick or not. But I hope he doesn't. Well, COVID certainly. Do you guys have any thoughts of what might have been one of the positive things that you've experienced during this COVID time? I certainly found that I was quiet. I could be quiet. I didn't have to my mind didn't say, well, you need to go out and you need to go do this and you shouldn't really sit home. You shouldn't be doing that. But I could focus on my art 24/7 if I chose to do that. First time in my life without feeling maybe I'm anal. It's about my passion. Maybe I am. But what's wrong with that? It doesn't hurt anyone. Nikki, I am pondering this, but I'm not going to rush it. I want that message to come to me, and I'm not worried about I have to do something. What I have to do is take care of myself, be quiet within myself, love myself, laugh a lot, just do things that really are good for me, because actually though I've loved it, I've been committed to loads of charities, to helping people. It's just something in my soul that just, this is what I did, even down to dogs, and just, I was always bringing home lost animals and things like that. And then later it was bringing home lost people. But it's come really clear that COVID actually gave me the time to know me. So I'm in some ways grateful for my experience of it. Not so happy about the collective experience. That's what I think, Nikki. At some point I will know, it will come. Certainly, Verpi, we did learn to Zoom. Thank goodness for Zoom. And all I can say is thank goodness for Amazon and Sainsbury's delivery. Because there was a time I didn't know how I was going to, when it was really the beginning, stuck at home. They were amazing. Amazon deserves every bit of profit that they make, so far as I'm concerned, because they really help people not go over the edge. So I think it's time that we have to say, Juliet, you have grown just since I first met you. And your artwork is incredible. And yes, Julie, time to know me. That has been my primary learning curve. And now that we can slowly go back out, can I integrate it? What will I put a Band-Aid back on? Or am I going to be something new going out there? Drew, I'm really glad you're getting better. And I missed hearing about you in the last, 2 months nearly, in this moving experience. But here we are. We're back. And hopefully the next time I won't have an internet problem or computer problem. I don't know what caused that. Yeah. Juliet's really come on. Do you remember that first phone call we had, Juliet? You were so timid about going and having an exhibition and talking about your work. And now look at you. Well done, girl. Keep going. Yeah, I'm really happy for you. And Drew, I'm happy that you're getting better. And Becky, great. Good night, Veronica. Hugs to your children. Your little girl looks just like you. Yeah. So people, lovely people. Ciao. I'm going to go cook myself some dinner because I don't have this wonderful boy cooking while I was online. And yeah, I'm getting hungry. So I'm going to say so long and good night, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. And be well. Lots of love. Night.